What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I am glad all of you are able to join me this evening. I hope that life is treating you well. I hope that everything that you ask for is coming to fruition. I hope whatever goals that you have set for yourself in life, you're on the road to obtaining them. But I'm your host, Ed Honcho. It is an honor, it is a privilege, and most of all, it is my pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys each and every night. I thank you for being here. Tonight we're going to talk about, does Mike Vick deserve forgiveness? But it's going to be kind of forgiveness as a whole. Because at what point does someone make up for the things that they've done? At what point do you get a second chance? At what point, do you get a mulligan, a do-over? Or do you not get those opportunities? Do you not get those options? Does it depend on the outcome? Does it depend on what it is that you did? Does it depend on your actions after that incident? Whatever the incident may be. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into all of those things, man, let's talk to all the lovely people. Let's see who we got joining us this evening. I see 335 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Edwin Baptiste. Good to see you, Edwin. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Jess Sarah, Rashida Reed. What's the motherfucking deal? Marquise Newhouse. What's the motherfucking deal? Miss Bell. The bell has rung. Sweetberry, guard your nuts, a.k.a. your pistachios. Empress Yaya. What's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us this evening. Let's see. Let me see. Broderick. Let's get Jess Sarah. I can't remember, but I forgot that quick. Because sometimes it's the way the words are. So sometimes I guess, I don't know if the pictures, I don't know if the names or whatever. Sometimes I forget if I jumped or if I said them or not. Maybe I should just read off the fucking list I have over here. That's what I get from trying to read out the chat. But let's see, Broderick in the building. Let's see. Crass and Heartless in the building. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Shout out to Crass and Heartless. Let's see. D the Gamma. What's the motherfucking deal? Hello, Ashley. Good evening, Ashley. What's the motherfucking deal? Shout out to Ron Isley. James A., how you doing this evening, man? What's the motherfucking deal? Miss Grace in the building. I always love to hear from Miss Grace. So I wonder what her thoughts. I know her being an animal activist and supporter. I don't know if it can be activist, but I know an animal lover. I don't think a lot of us are animal lovers. Miss Grace, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Chill HD, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. You got using on time. Make sure to get you on the early birds. Let's see. Let me see. Bad and Bougie. How are you this evening, Girl 6? What's the motherfucking deal? And let's see. Well, honorable mention Kenneth is here. Every day is Dre Day. What's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. If I missed you, I ain't dish you. Shame. Kenneth voted for himself. Terrible situation. So let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. And Miss Bad and Bougie, you'll have to hit me one day. I want to ask you something. Just whenever you get a chance. It's nothing major. Send a text message if you got some time. I don't know what your schedule is like, but I'd like to ask you something. So make sure you're following the den on all the proper social medias. Ed Honcho HTX. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Den Show Live. Everything's reversed. Y'all notice like my hands all be fucking every time I be pointing this shit out because everything's fucking reversed. So I'm trying to look at the fucking screen. Yeah, over here. Den Show Live on Facebook. Make sure you come join the Den Show Facebook group. We're all in there with the shenanigans and tomfoolery on the daily. Trey James, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, man, all of that good stuff. If you would, if you are interested, let me make sure I promote everything else. If you're interested in Den Show merch, you can go to Den Show shop, get Den Show shirts and things. I'm going to be switching that up soon, maybe let's say around Christmas time. I'm going to be doing some other things too, but I don't have still a lot of the same merch, but I'm going to be adding some new things to it too. If you want to become a monthly supporter, you go to patreon.com/The Den Show. Make sure you follow the Den Show podcast and you sign up on Spreaker to follow. Like I said, we're going to start trying to do some things with that Monday. I'm going to be just, like I said, I'm going to try a lot of different things in the next few days. But anyway, let's get into the conversation for tonight. Anything else you need to know, everything is in the links in the description below. All right. So, Only One Lie, how are you doing this evening? Dream Barbie, hello, how are you this evening? What's the motherfucking deal? Danny MTZ, what's the motherfucking deal? So let's talk about a few things. And Dream Bar, that name is I'm trying to recall, is that familiar? Your first time in the den? I can't recall. That name sounds familiar, but then I may be wrong. Or maybe it was a name change. I can't recall. But let's talk about some stuff, man. Like I said, it's a lot of things that we need to get into around this. And like I said, it's not all about Mike Vick, but it's about forgiveness as a whole, and kind of referring to some of the things I asked initially. When are you forgiven? Do people deserve forgiveness? Is it forgive and forget? Is it forgive and remember? I think there's so many different angles to this conversation that, and I think different people have different opinions. And I think it's the action that may be most important because it depends on what it is that you did. I think in some people's eyes, whether or not you deserve to be forgiven, correct? And I think most people, if you went out and you wiped out a bunch of kids or some shit, like, y'all know how I feel like when it comes to the kids, man, it's very little forgiveness. Because once you scar a child for life, I think that there's an issue with that. I personally have a problem with that. So there's that. And then I think everything else is kind of up for grabs. You know what I mean? So make sure I set this right. All right, cool. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Compton Conservatives, how you doing this evening? What's the motherfucking deal? Okay, cool. That'll be great. Indeed, the Gamma, you get well soon. I know you said you've been feeling a little bit under the weather, so hopefully you. I'm trying to anyway, and I hope that you get better. Hopefully, we can send some good vibes Miss Gamma's way. So here are my thoughts when it refers to Vick himself. All right, I am a dog lover. When I do go run, I haven't been as consistent lately. I've been having a bit of a ankle issue. I was walking the other day and I'm not embarrassed to say it, but I was a little clumsy. I stepped off the curb a little wrong, and my ankle has been feeling a little janky for the last couple of days. So I hadn't really been running, right? And so it's been kind of sore. So I'm just kind of being kind of cautious with it. I already am a little chunky to be running, so I definitely feel it after those. But there's a dog, man, and when I go running, there's a dog that I see. And I don't know if the dog is homeless or if he just kind of follows his owner out the gate a little bit or something. I don't know. But I always feel bad for the little dog. He just be wandering around and shit. Now, the first time I encountered him, I didn't know what kind of dog he was. So, I was kind of cautious. I was ready to fight. You got to be, every dog ain't a friendly dog, but I don't wish evil or ill or try to do any harm to any animals. Fish and shit. Why don't fish count? When we talk about animals, like, why don't fish count? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to that. But, and chickens get no love either, right? I guess animals that we don't consider pets, maybe we treat them differently. Some people, I think, go all the way in. I'm not a PETA person, but that's a different thing. But I think about the dog. I was getting Scotty some stuff the other day, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should get a little treat for the dog. And then so I'm gonna run up, had a little bag with me, a little backpack drawstring thing that I run with, in case of emergency, in case I get dehydrated because I'm out of there. But damn dog wasn't there, and I was mad. I was like, man, this damn dog. I'm over here thinking about the dog. The dog doesn't appreciate me. So, no, I don't think it's that bad. It might be though. I'm no bullshit. Like I still like give it what I can, but it's a bunch of power walking at this point. And so, I like animals. I'm an animal lover. I'm not the biggest fan of cats, but cats are all right. I don't hate them. I don't necessarily like them. But if a cat's around, he come around, I'll kick it with the cat. Me and the cat will chop it up. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this, right? He said, and Danny says, when Michael Vick's becoming an animal advocate, has redeemed himself. If anything, does Big Ben deserve forgiveness? Big Ben likes to get busy in the bathroom, so depends on how you feel about that. So, but my thing is this, man. My thing is this: is I do believe that Vick deserves forgiveness, and I know that he's been doing the animal rights thing. I remember, this man went to prison, right? Prison for his actions, for his deeds. Now, I said something a while back when it came to him going to prison for this. And I think about it when I say it now. I'm being honest with you. I'm just being 100% with you. Now, if this guy is establishing, or he's the breadwinner, he's putting my whole family on. If I was his cousin, I would have took that charge so fucking quick. It was me. I did it. I did all this. This is all me. I'm the orchestrator of all this shit, right? But apparently, I think it was the cousin that snitched on him. So anyway, big name case. You got a guy like Mike Vick. You sent him to jail. Went to prison about 2 years, something like that. And so, you know what I'm saying? Nobody listen to Kenneth. At least not honorable mention Kenneth. But new Kenneth is cool. Honorable mention Kenneth is a terrible person. So, you know, that's that being that. But had that have happened, he might not have learned his lesson. If he didn't have to, deal with any punishment or deal with any issues coming from that, he might not have learned his lesson. But I think what you got to understand too, it was his cousin, dude. I mean, what? The commissary fat. You sitting good. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. You'd have been a man in prison. But anyway, I wonder if Mike Vick raced niggas for noodles in jail. I had all the soups. But my thing is this. The man learned his lesson. You got to understand, certain people don't have certain connections. And in the hood, or whatever you want to call it, it's a thing. I'm not justifying any of this conversation. I'm not justifying any of that it was right what he did. But I understand, I remember being young and just, niggas in the neighborhood fighting dogs in the backyard. Like, it was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, fighting dogs in the backyard was just what it was. I didn't participate in it. I saw a couple of them. I thought, like, wow, this is terrible. Poor dogs. But it's a thing. And if you don't have that type of connection, and I'm not a fan of it, because I think pit bulls especially are great dogs, are great pets. They can be great protectors, but people raise them a certain way because they want them to look mean and tough and they want to feel a big man with my big dog. I don't look at them like that. I mean, they're just pets to me. And if you treat them right, man, they'll be the most loyal dogs that you will ever fucking have. But some people don't look at it like that. Again, money is the root of all evil. Well, the love of money is the root of all evil. And so, a little gambling, a little whatever, make some money in the hood. People niggas don't get by to do anything they can. And so you're looked at more like a tool to make you some money. A way of living. A lot of people sell pit bulls, and I don't think that these people are selling them to fight. Some people sell to breed them to fight, but some people just sell them because people like having, big dogs. And there's nothing wrong with owning a big dog. As long as you're treating it right, feeding it, properly. A lot of motherfuckers I've seen get dogs and malnourish. I mean, it's sickening, and I feel really bad for the dogs. But maybe he didn't have that connection. Maybe he didn't have that understanding. Being raised around certain people, maybe he never developed it. Then you become an athlete and a star. When is he going to take the time to really just become an animal lover, right? So, you got some money, you know some folks, look, dog fighting, rooster fighting, I'm not going to say it the other way. I know some people like the other term. It's weird. Rooster fighting, things like that, little underground stuff. There's a lot of them. There's some of your favorite celebrities who like to participate in some of these things. They just may have never been caught in some of these arenas. So there's not that connection. So he goes to jail. He gets, introduced to a lot of things, and he develops an understanding. He donates a lot of money. I haven't even seen him around a dog since then, right? Everybody thinks about China. And then China's just all kind of crazy. So they're wiping out those Muslims over there. And so my thing is, he's paid his dues, in my opinion. Like, once you done got locked up, I mean, look, people say all these things, but there's a difference between one, jail and prison. Two, he got a hands-on learning experience, I'm sure, in prison. And I'm not saying that something happened to him, but it's a tough road to go from basically being considered at the top of your sport to being considered one of the dregs of society. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of part of the problem. He has dogs now? Okay, cool. And so my thing is, man thinks, what's the motherfucking deal? Infinity Pimp, what's the motherfucking deal? JB and Jason S, Michael Shelton, what's the motherfucking deal? So my thing is just like, it's over with. I don't even remember what year it happened. It's been a long fucking time. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, it is what it is. I agree. Everyone is a hypocrite. I am hypocritical Honcho at time to time. Just depends on the scenario. Heidi! Are you in here? I didn't even know Heidi was in here. Shout out to Heidi. Heidi hates the mixer. She tries to come in and she violates and she talked bad about everybody who didn't show up. She calls you all kind of German insults. She's a terrible person. But yeah, there's certain people just won't let shit go. And at this point, I personally believe that Mike Vick deserves to be forgiven. You shouldn't try to strip of everything. I mean, he lost a shit ton of money. He lost his freedom. And he, like I say, he went from the very top of celebrity, of sport, of everything you could consider it being, and had to work his way back up. And the redemption story in itself, cool, fine, awesome. You know what I'm saying? God damn it, culture. What's the motherfucking deal? But you know, my thing is like, at this point, he paid his dues. Let's move forward. There are bigger issues. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think the majority of people who are like PETA people who are trying to stop him from being, because the reason why it's coming back up is because he's an honorary Pro Bowl captain. It's not like he's playing in a game. It's not like, at this point, and he's played since then, right? So it's like, get over it. He's actually played in the game. It is what it is at this point. He's a Pro Bowl captain. Not like he's playing like we didn't get nominated to another Pro Bowl. Like, and I think that's probably what most people think. I think a lot of people who are super PETA people are probably not worried about fucking what's going on in football. They're more concerned with fucking horses having hangnails or something. I don't know. That's not a thing. I'm just saying shit. But you know, they're worried more about shit like that and covering themselves in blood and freeing rabbits while killing them at the same time. But they did it for the freedom of the rabbits. If one rabbit is free, it's worth 100 rabbits dying. But my thing is just like, man, it's kind of to the point where we've passed it. But now I think there's a petition now to stop Michael Vick from being a honorary Pro Bowl. Honorary Pro Bowl captain doesn't mean shit. Like, what does it mean, right? I think he did do the flag football thing too, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, people gonna be eating that motherfucker. Well, you were a loyal dog to me, but I know this is what you'd want. Another dog on the Barbie. Yeah, when it all goes to shit, you know, again, it is what it is. And I hate people. I saw a thing today. I forgot who posted it, but somebody posted something about a person turning in their 9-month-old dog looked like a pit because it knocked over the Christmas tree. And this is the type of shit people are like. Again, like just dumb shit. And so a lot of people should have. And here's the thing with a lot of people with dogs too. A lot of people like puppies and expect like the fucking puppy's gonna stay a puppy forever, right? And then it's a wrap. You know, once it gets older, once it gets big, then they're just like, oh, you know, I didn't expect it to do this and do that. And then they don't want the fucker anymore. Like, if you're not in it for the long haul, stop the nonsense, right? Stop the tomfoolery. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, just come on. Like, when it comes to the dogs, when it comes to the animals, like, know what you're getting into. Same thing with kittens and other small animals. Everybody loves it when it's cute, right? But then when it gets big, now, oh well, and it's some of these same motherfuckers who are probably out here complaining and everything else. But at this point, like I said, Mike Vick has played in the NFL. It's not like he's doing something major by being an honorary Pro Bowl captain. I think it's nonsense. But let's get to the other aspect of it. And what I'm talking about is forgiveness as a whole. So when we open up the line here shortly, okay, you made a new one. Okay. So my thing is when do you forgive someone, right? When do you let something go? Well, I guess a lot of people like that. What's the not Woody Harrelson? What's the other Woody? Not Woody the fucking Toy Story guy. What's the other one but like the little kids, right? But they love watching his movies. They don't complain about him. You know, Hollywood is a real special place. But when do you forgive somebody? And I think again, I agree that it depends on what you're forgiving them for. Woody Allen, yeah, I think that's the one. That's the one with the not Yoko Ono, with the little Asian daughter weird thing that happened. So, oh man, Mark, that's a terrible man. Yeah, I've heard shit like that. It's sad that people drop these people off to old folks' homes and things like that, and they just leave it up to the nurse. Like, people never go visit them. They, you know what I'm saying? It's like, And it's like, what? Who's the meanest? I'm the meanest? Yes, yes, I have feeling the new name. I have no idea. I have absolutely. I have no guesses. And it's terrible, man. And so that's the thing. Like I saw somebody talking about, like they said, if you can, go visit like old folks' homes and things like that, and just spend time with them during the holidays because their family doesn't. They don't see them. They don't call them. They don't know anything about them, and they just they they just leave them. They just leave them, man, and it's sad. It really is sad. And people treat people worse than animals. And I'm gonna be honest about this, right? I like dogs probably more than I like most niggas. So I probably like dogs more than I like Michael Vick. But at this point in time, I think it is what it is. But the action. So if it's transgression against you and there's no violence, there's no physical harm, do you give a person forgiveness? If somebody attacks you, hurts a family member, do you hold that forever? Do you what is it? When we're talking about forgiving and forgetting, I'm gonna be honest. Danny, that almost read a completely different way. When it when it comes to me, it's like you gotta. I think I draw the line. Like I say, I talk all this shit about being a better person and being all. I have my limits. Well, Misty, okay, you changed. You didn't. No, well, I'm just saying, Danny, it looked a little weird. What's happening, Misty? None of us deserve forgiveness, huh, Grady? Why is that? Definitely would like you to call in and share that when we open up the line here shortly. But like I said, when it comes to certain actions, and again, if you were to do something to my family or me, it depends on the situation. Again, violence or threatening and things like that. There's not a lot of room for forgiveness, and it's tough, and it's tough, and I commend you for that, Compton, because that's why I know I'm not there yet. Like I'm working my way to getting better at a lot of things, but there is a side of me. You know what I'm saying? There is a side of me that not the internet side. We're being honest, and I tell y'all all the time, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Don't take anything, too little that you see on the internet. I have the ability to filter what you get to see. The same way you have the ability to filter on social media and all these things. But to be honest, I like to try to be as genuine as I can, without saying too much. But there's a side of me that I definitely still need a lot of work on. I'm not as angry as I used to be. I try to meditate when I can. I try to do a lot of things to work on stuff. But there are certain things that will set it off. And again, like most of that would be personal stuff, family stuff, those kind of things. But outside of that, I think I'm pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So, and, outside of that, I think I'm pretty good. And I think that's reasonable, though, at the same time. I think that's reasonable because just wants to let somebody do something to their family. As a man, you're supposed to be a protector. So I think that's just kind of inherent in the whole deal. But so, like I said, if I open the line here shortly, I want to know what you guys think. When do you forgive? When do you sustain those feelings? When do you say, no, this is not one I can just let go? Because I find it really interesting. We're talking about forgiving and things like that. You could go back to, what was this? The Amber Geiger trial. That dude got an award for hugging that cop. Y'all know that? I thought that was weird. Like you just hug somebody now, you're getting awards. I mean, you get Person of the Year for being angry. I'm angry, so somebody give me a fucking award. I want to be on a magazine cover. Oh, I didn't say it right. How dare you? How dare you not forgive someone? How dare you? You've taken away my. I don't know. You can take shit from me. But anyway, let me give you a second as I get ready to open up the line. But like I said, I want to know what you think. What is unforgivable? What are your limits? What do you think in society, have we gotten to the point where, the cancel culture, how much of cancel culture is a part of this, right? Cancel everybody. I mean, is this a transgression that's so serious that, they deserve to be canceled? again, like I say, I think there's a lot of layers. You know who cancel culture is? Oprah Winfrey is cancel culture. She's the creator of cancel culture. She's funding all the goddamn cancel culture. And me saying that now, the den is canceled. Come on, goddamn phone line, open up. I figured that was it. So, give me just a moment, and like I said, anything you need as far as in relation to the den and anything that's going on, make sure you have went to Den Show Podcast. You're following there. You may have to go to like my name on there and follow the thing, and it'll update when we start doing the live podcast, things of that nature, and all that good stuff. Son of a bitch. I knew it was too good to be true. I thought I had everything done. I did not do everything I was fucking supposed to. All right, well, that's all good. It's all fucking good. Oh man, I've been out the loop. I gotta make sure I gotta get my shit together. Gotta get it together. All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's Belle. I don't have much to say, but here's my thought on it. He has done his time as far as the jail stuff goes. It's just going to take time to earn that trust back from everybody, from the fact that he broke everybody's trust by hurting the animals. And that's kind of about it.
Okay.
You asked about forgiving, and I think that it's an earned thing. If he's turned his life around, he's going to show that by his actions.
Okay. So, by him coming out of jail and, by contributing to, he spent 18 months in jail, contributing to animal rights organizations and things like that. I'm trying to see exactly, because I forgot exactly which year it was. He served in African. Oh, he had to go.
Quite a while ago, actually.
That's what I see. It's been almost, I want to say almost close to 10 years, if not more.
Something like that, maybe even more than that.
So, I mean, like, in your opinion, like, how long would it have to be? If he's doing everything else right, I mean, how long do you think something like that would take for people to really to just get over it? Or is it kind of an individual case-by-case thing? Or society as a whole?
Well, our society can be fickle. I mean, one minute they're for you, the next minute they got a pitchfork against you. So I kind of don't look at it as broad spectrum as that, so much as the fact that he may get to a point where he doesn't even have to prove it. If he's been working with the animals for 10 years and doing the right thing for 10 years, then it's still individuals of people's opinion of whether or not they want to trust him. For me, in my opinion, if he did his time, he did what he was supposed to do. From what I gather, he was a model citizen, and he's come out and he's taking those steps forward in order to be humane to animals, and he's done that for far longer than what he was being bad to them. I think that that's definitely worth him gaining some trust and respect. But we've got to far exceed the good from what we did with the bad for people to want to turn their thoughts around on a person. And I don't think it just completely has to deal with him. I think that in life, too, if what's that old saying? It takes forever to build trust, and it can take a second to break it down.
Yes.
And so that's really what it is that it's taken forever to build that trust back up. So he's got to just, do the right thing. It has nothing really to do with anybody else, because people are going to make a judgment call of whether you're doing the right thing or not. But he's going to do the right thing for him.
Okay.
And I guess that's just like anything else in life, I am a huge animal lover. I would love to have a dog. I'm just not in a position to have one. And cats are a little too independent for me. So, well, no, they're not a bad thing. It's just that I don't need something else I'm cleaning up after. If I'm going to do that, I'd rather take a dog outside and go for a walk and do that. But, yeah, I don't do the whole cat box thing.
Okay.
So I would have an outside cat, and I'm not in an area to do that. Okay. But I'd like to hear from everybody else and what their opinions are.
I got a quick question for you, Miss Bell.
Yeah?
What is your favorite kind of dog?
Well, my favorite one that I actually owned was a purebred Siberian Husky. And I also had it was a crossbreed between a pug and a Chihuahua. The thing was, it was an absolute lapdog, and I loved it. So my choices probably would either be, at this stage of the game, a miniature pinscher or a pug.
A min pin. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're adorable. But I don't want anything that is an ankle biter or a barker. So, and the other one that was kind of spoken to is what they call it, a King Charles Spaniel. And so, King Spaniel, King Charles Spaniel, I think is what it's called. And it's a Cocker Spaniel off-breed. So, but those are just kind of something. And that's kind of my story, and I'm sticking to it. So my challenge is to hear from everybody else tonight about what their animal favorites are.
All right. Well, Miss Bell, I appreciate you calling in and getting the party started. The bell has rung, and class is now in session.
All right. Good night.
All right. Have a good evening. All right. Shout out to Miss Bell. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got called into the den this evening?
Hey, it's your new Barbie doll.
Your new Barbie doll.
Yeah, it's me. Hey, listen, I went to go try to sign back into YouTube today. It wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me use the same name, so I just picked up something stupid. I'm eventually gonna change it back. But listen, I do have a good what am I trying to say? I do have a good thing that's been happening today, and I would like to just ask the den's opinion too. Kind of maybe on a serious note a little bit, just to see what y'all think and see what you think, because you always offer good advice about it. Okay, my dad, if he has not called me 20 times, he's called me 25 times today. Him and my brother, my mom passed in September, so him and my dad my brother's 30, and my dad is only 3 months out from my mom passing. He has been going out to eat with this lady and stuff like that, that he met. And I don't see anything wrong with that, because, if and I'm the oldest, I don't see anything wrong with it, because if for example, if he just stayed by himself in the house all the time, he's getting more depressed. And if he does later decide to set out on a journey of actually meeting someone or something like that, because my dad's only 67, just turned 67. I mean, my mom has already, she's approved of that. She's told us all that she's happy with that. That would be fine. But my brother is having a big fit. He told my dad said that he may not be able to forgive my brother. But I know, because let me tell you what my brother said. My brother said, you should be the one in the graveyard instead of Mama. You're a sorry piece of crap. You're ruining Mama's name. You shouldn't even be going out with somebody at this time and all that kind of stuff, And now, my dad, said, well, I'm going to give him a few weeks and I'm going to try. And that was all because, I asked my dad if he would, at least, don't talk to him for a couple weeks, whatever, just give him a little time to mellow out or whatever, and then try. Because he's not doing anything really wrong, he's just, I don't know. I feel like Daddy will drive himself crazy if he just sits at home. But my thing is, what do y'all think about, this is sort of, on the lines of, a little bit of what you were talking about, but not exactly. Okay, so say somebody does something really bad to you. The stuff that he said to my dad, you wouldn't believe. You deserve to be on the ground. You're a sorry piece of shit. You, this, that, and the other. It just mean stuff. I'm talking about some mean, low down, bitch kind of stuff, my brother said. And my brother shows no signs of remorse for it at all. When I try to talk to him, he's like, I don't care. I'm never going to care. I don't care if he dies. Don't tell me if he dies and all this. Okay, so what is which, I know you said you hadn't had children or whatever yet, but what is your take on, my dad said, I'm not going to forgive him. My dad is they've babied him a lot. They've given him money. They've done things and everything like that. Why my brother would want to ruin like the way he gets extra money is ignorant as hell, if you ask me. You know, because my brother, you know, can go over there and ask my dad for anything, and he'll do it. You know, or my mom, you know, when they were living. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think that it's just purely because I don't see anything wrong with it? I mean, I know that Mama had me going that long, but my dad, you know, he needs a little company. He's not doing anything wrong. I mean, he said even if he did remarry, it'd be a couple of years, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We're not even to that point. This is just strictly a friend. And my brother's like, acting like my dad's supposed to sit home in a rocking chair and not get out of the house, not do anything. But it's okay for my brother to go be with his family and 3 kids and just leave my dad sitting there by himself. So, I mean, where do y'all take it? Because I think it's the same way that forgiveness should come. I mean, that, you know, even that everybody needs a second chance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So what do you think? What do you think?
You said your brother was he mama's boy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Big time.
That explains a lot. Like I say, you know, again, the perspective is probably skewed. Like you said, kind of spoiled and all of that stuff. So he's only seeing it from his own eyes and, you know, what he's lost, but not realizing that your dad is, you know, has probably spent significantly more time with your mom over these years. And if nobody's there.
47 years they were together.
And then nobody else is there for him. Nobody else is there with him. You know, people need company, especially as you get, you know, up in age. You have these things. Now, this is coming from a person, like I said, I lost somebody I was with for a significant amount of time, and you know, and like I said, I kind of stood off for a while, and I was just kind of to myself for a bit, but. And I really questioned myself too, because after a while, you know, it's just like I wasn't really looking for anything, but then, you know, I start kind of talking here and there, and it's just good sometimes to have conversations. And I mean, we're human beings, we're social creatures, so I don't think it's a problem. I think your brother's actually being pretty selfish in the whole ordeal, but it can be hard. You know, he may be taking it his own way, and he may be seeing it, you know, like I say, just from his perspective. You know, people, we see these things, especially with parents, especially when they've been together so long, that you just expect that to be a thing that's going to last forever, and if not, then, you know, he just should be a widower or whatever, and he may see it as disrespect or whatever else it may be. And in reality, he should probably consider it fortunate that they did stay together. You know, they actually went through the till death do us part thing, and you know, you weren't a product of a divorce or a split home or anything like that, like so many other people are. I mean, you know, if he wants to put himself in a less fortunate position or whatever, I mean, that's on him, and that's for him to deal with. And if you're bad, you know, doesn't want to forgive him, I don't blame him. I understand, you know, but I think he'll regret that. Your brother will regret it if something does happen. But your dad, I'm not wishing you that, knock on wood. But if something does happen and he misses out on the opportunities to get to, you know, to spend with your father. So, I mean, you're really going to be double-assed out, and you're going to look like really foolish when you lose not only your mom, but your pops, too. So you'll regret those things. So your brother's actually putting himself in the less fortunate position, in my opinion. And like I said, because he has a whole family, he has all those things to go through. And I think you would have to actually go through that experience to understand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, I used to think the same way. And it's just, like I say, after some things that happened with me, and just, like I say, after a while, I mean, sometimes, you know, you kind of, you spend a little bit too much time with yourself, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. And you just kind of got to open yourself up and just to have a conversation or two, even with somebody else. And if it leads to something else, it is. But if not, you know, you got to have that. You know, I think that's important.
Well, that's the reason why when you were mentioning this, I know it's not exactly like the same thing. And yeah, don't you love my new name? I really look like a sack. You could tell, actually, I look like what did she say? A deflated beanbag Barbie, I guess now, whatever. I don't know. I just was having fun with the name. I thought it was, you know, I'm going to change it back eventually. But no, the thing that really makes it even harder is my brother has little girls. You know, they're 6 and 1. And, you know, I've got little nieces, so that makes it hard. And my brother, he came along a lot later and all that. And my brother is very spoiled, you know, even though he's 30, they did all that spoiling crap, and, you know, now it's kind of fell back. But I feel like, you know, if the crime is not, I'm going to say crime, or what you say to somebody or whatever, if it's not too bad, you know, like you didn't murder their whatever, you know, that maybe everybody, depending on what the circumstances are, deserves to take a chance, you know. I mean, you know, if you can find it in your heart to forgive them, because life is too short. And that's just what I was thinking about, my opinion on that. You know, life is too short. you know, everybody deserves a second chance if it's something to where you can do it, you know.
Yeah, well, I agree. I definitely agree with that. So, I mean, either your brother eventually get over it and, you know, move on, or, you know, or not. I mean, time will eventually tell.
Right, that's what I was thinking too. You know, you're so smart.
Really, I don't. Well, I appreciate that. I'm not. If you say so.
Well, you know, I know, but you know, it's. I mean, what was the likelihood that you were having a topic about forgiveness? I mean, you know, I know even though it's involving that other guy, you know, it still has been kind of weighing on my mind a lot today. Because I promise you, me being the oldest one, my dad called me 25 times today. I don't know what I was supposed to do about Patrick. Patrick's been acting this way. Patrick Patrick was mean. He told my dad, you should have been in the grave instead of mama. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, my God, if it had been me or my sister, see, there's 16 years difference between me and Patrick. If it had been us when my parents were younger, me and my sister would have been slapped back through the wall and through the other side of the house and out the front door. But because of him and them having him close to their 40s, you know, they just kind of, you know, and now look at this little monster they created. You know what I mean? So anyway, but I'm not gonna keep you. I just wonder what you thought, and I was gonna introduce you to my new name.
Okay. Well, now I know
but
who it is.
there's not.
Because I had no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. There's something seriously going on with YouTube. Like I had a couple of friends that told me they couldn't get back in, and it wouldn't let me like use the same name, and it had nothing to do with anything I was doing wrong. I just had to put something else in. But then they said eventually I could just change it back to, you know, my regular name, because I always like my first name really is Missy, so I always like to, you know, just keep that. You maybe not your last name, but anyway, I'm not gonna hold you up. I just wondered your opinion, and I appreciate it, and it does sound like it's a very reasonable opinion if they can come to something that, you know, life is too short and you'll miss, you know, you can miss out on things. But does it not sound reasonable to you that even on this Michael Vick thing, that him not deserve a second chance to, you know, I mean, I could understand if he went out doing God knows what with something else, you know, that was a terrible thing, but at least he could, I don't know what I'm trying to say, at least he could, you know, have a second chance to try to build his life back up. You can't leave, I'm saying unless it's murder or child molestation or some weird thing like that I'm just not able to accept, you know. I feel like, you know, there's been a lot of cases people would deserve a second chance from a mistake they made, you know. So anyway, I don't know. That was just what I was thinking. But I'm headed back in.
All right. Well, Misty, a.k.a. Dream Barbie, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts with us this evening.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. You have a good night.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello, hello. Hello? YOLO? All right, we'll take the next call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hello, my honcho. How are you, dear?
Miss Grace, how are you this evening?
I am great. Didn't make it to the gym this morning, so I had to take care of other business. Okay. But you know what the den is like to me? Because I was listening to it this morning. When I was working, we had to do classroom observations. Someone could come into our room. I can go into another room. Sometimes it was unannounced. You mean sometimes they knew when we were coming. But it's like when you're on the telephone, you're up there trying to teach one of the kids. I feel like I'm sitting in the back doing an observation. And all the people in the chat, those are all the badass kids fucking up. They're a mess, but I love them. They're a mess. They're a mess. Yeah, this Michael Vick thing, I didn't know much about it, so I read a little bit today. And I honestly do feel that he needs to be forgiven. You mean, because he's paid his dues. This guy has gone to jail. He hasn't gotten into any more trouble with dogs or anything, as far as I know. And plus, he's done things to advocate for animals and help push bills through, you know what I mean, to help animals.
Okay.
I mean, what more can he do? And some of these people with this fake outrage, you mean, like you said, the cancel culture. They just want to be mad at him because it seems popular, and in this new outrage thing, it's almost like little movements going on all over the place. You know, let the guy try to live. Plus, you have to take into consideration he was a young man, and like you said, in certain neighborhoods, we had dogs, and that's what he did. You mean everybody wasn't always nice to dogs, especially the boys when I was coming up and things like that. They did things. But, yeah, he did some terrible things, but it's a way of life for some people, and he didn't know any better, I don't suppose. You know what I mean? And now that he does, he seems to be doing better. But let me tell you, they had a reality show with Michael, I think it was Football Wives or something, and Michael Vick was on there with his wife, and when I think the first 2 episodes, they showed the dog, and that damn cameraman zoomed right in on the dog.
That's crazy.
I said, he ain't shit for that. I saw that. You know, he zeroed right in on it. But I think he should be forgiven. He's done the right things. I don't like anybody that can hurt animals, that can hurt kids, that can hurt anybody. I just don't like meanness. It'll set me off. If somebody's mean or somebody's bullying and things like that there, I don't like that at all. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. Leave the animals alone. If you can't take care of animals like their children, leave them alone.
Correct.
And please don't ask me what my favorite animal is, because I don't have one.
Interesting.
And you know, and like I told you, when I adopt cats, I do rescues. We usually get the big cats that nobody else wants, and they're going to be put to sleep. And my cats last an average of 18 years with me, but I don't know how old they really are, because when we got them, they were big anyway, except for Janie, you know, the little girl that I have now. She's like 3 years old. But, you know, someone told my daughter, if your mother doesn't take this little kitten, we're going to throw her out the window on the highway. You mean? So I took my little girl, Janie Marie. You know, and you know, I nannied that little Chihuahua. You know, yeah, but I mean, really, I'm all about the animals and kids and all that other stuff. I guess I'm just a caretaker. I can't help myself.
I feel you. I'm the same. I think that I'm trying to think, except for, well, no, 1 or 2 of them I think I did actually have from puppies, but for the most part, yeah. Like I say, Scotty was an adoption, and I had a Chihuahua who was an adoption, and he died, unfortunately, the worst death. But yeah, and I agree. Like, I think that, you know, because there's so many animals out there, and that kind of goes to what I was saying earlier. People love to get the puppies when they go to these puppy mills, these pet shops where they get the puppies, and they love them when they're small, and then when they're no longer like that, they get rid of them, or they don't care for them anymore, or they're too much of a problem, and then you have this influx of older dogs who are good to great dogs, but because they're not viewed in that same way, people don't want to take them on. So it's good that you have people like you who are willing to do that.
And you, and you know, and I don't trust people. If you can go for an animal just because it's cute and it's popular, then you might be able to do that to a person.
Right.
I don't pick animals because they're cute. Like I told you, when my kids were small, I don't believe in a lot of candy, and you know, they got everything they needed and only half of what they wanted. And when I went to go pick out a rabbit for her, they had all these little dwarf rabbits, and everybody was all around the cage. Ooh, coochie coo, so cute. You know what I mean? And when the person at the store came over to me and said, "May I help you?" You know, I said, "I want that one right there in the other cage, the big ugly rabbit with the big ears," and that was Propeller, and he ran free down in the basement. He would come up, and I would shred carrots and feed that to him. So around his pure white, and around his mouth was all orange. But yeah, I don't take animals just because they're cute, and that's why I end up nannying this Chihuahua. You know what I mean? Because she's a former student of mine, the girl. And, you know, these young kids, they want to get these dogs because they look so cute, and then they don't want to take care of them. So it's almost like we have joint custody, and, you know, we pay for everything. We take him to the veterinarian because he wasn't caught up on his shots. He went home yesterday, and he'll probably be back here in another week. You know, so he lives between 2 houses, but no, they get it because it's cute. And I see grown-ups doing that same thing, getting animals just because they're cute, and then when they move, they leave the animals behind, and cats and all that other foolishness. But any questions, because I don't want to stay on the phone. I mean, I don't want to I don't want to rattle on and on like some people do.
I have no other comment. That's all I got.
Okay, you have a good one, Honcho.
You too, Miss Grace.
Bye-bye.
What's the motherfucking deal we got called into the den this evening?
Yo, it's Trey. Trey James 19, what is up?
What's the motherfucking deal, Trey? What's on your mind, man?
First of all, before I get to what I have to say that people are still mad about this. Like, really?
Yes, people are highly upset. There's a petition to ban him from being an honorary Pro Bowl captain.
Wow. I mean, okay, I'll make a point now. I mean, I understand that people are dog lovers. I get that. I mean, I like dogs and cats too. But let's be honest. It was 12 years ago. I mean, when Michael Vick did it, he looked like...
That was all of a sudden. I'm not sure what happened there. Call back, Mr. James. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? I'm not sure what happened with it.
It's your boy Chill here.
Chill, what's the motherfucking deal? Chill, what's on your mind, man?
About this topic we're having, and had actually a few interesting discussions with other people. And I'm gonna go on the record real quick. I am not, and people have been accusing me of this, but I'm not defending Michael Vick's actions or anybody else's actions during that whole scandal whatsoever. I am just merely arguing the fact that I think he should be forgiven, and that the past is past. We should move on. However, I think there is a limit to forgiveness.
Okay.
Like, for instance, if you don't show any remorse for what you did, then I'm going to have a hard time trying to forgive you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And, I hate how people only point to Michael Vick as the only guy throughout the whole dogfighting scandal, when it actually was also his cousins that were mostly involved. It was just the fact that it was on Vick's property, and Vick was a big celebrity back in the day, back when he was arrested, that people only looked at him as the only suspect, while there was other people involved, including his cousins. And I just hate how people only shoot like all the fire at Vick, while there's other people that go around with the blame.
Yes.
But also is just that was 12 years. Like that, everything that was 12 years ago. Vick did his time. Vick has done a lot to pay back, pay back what he's
Coulter
done. And
donated
I believe he has shown remorse.
$1. Pussy dudes who
And,
never had their bell rung forgive this piece of shit. I'll bring my paintball gun to Denline and we can play paint compliance Civil War, taking turns on each other's bare skin. Learn about abuse through experience,
He didn't really
not a
mention that.
news
He just wanted to
story.
play football, and he balled out actually for a couple of years, and then he just went slimming down. But in my opinion, though, I think he should be forgiven. And like you said, honorary pro football captain does absolutely nothing for him. It's just for an all-star game to have fun. Like, well, what's wrong with that? I mean, those are probably the same people that think O.J. Simpson's not guilty. That don't want to forgive him. By the way, Honcho, do you think O.J. Simpson did kill her?
OJ is a very interesting situation, and
Because a lot of people forgive him.
do I think that OJ did it? If you want to know my honest opinion, hell yeah, OJ did that shit. But OJ got away with it.
Hell, you said hell no?
I said hell yeah. Yeah, OJ did that shit.
Okay.
I mean, it's just too many things. But he got away with it. And that's the, I guess you could talk about the benefits or the flaws of the legal justice system, or however you want to look at it. It is what it is. The way it works in some people's favor, it has also hindered some people who may not have been guilty. That's just kind of how it is. So my thing is, though, OJ was a dumbass because he kept doing stupid. Like, here's my thing, and this is why I say that he did it. Aside from all of the case and all that other stuff, if you have this presumption of being guilty on you, right, and you get away with it, you leave that shit the fuck alone. But instead you go and write a book. Well, if I did do it, here's how I would have done it. Like, it's just too many little things that OJ did that have just got me. Come on, or just chill. Like you won. Accept that shit and move the fuck on, man. But it's super funny because we were talking about OJ earlier in the damn in the sauce and the shit he does on Twitter. So yeah, I don't think he did. I don't think he was alone either. I think he had some help to do it too. But that's a whole nother conversation because when you're talking about ex-wives and alimony and some of the stuff that's going on. I'm sure there's some other dudes throughout the country who probably would have loved to be in OJ's shoes to get away with some shit like that. And I'm not saying it's right, but it's a lot of stuff that goes on, and if you have access to certain resources, things happen, and it's unfortunate, but this is kind of the world we live in. So you had that dream team.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, though. But back to the topic. When it comes to couples, though, you just mentioned that. See, what I don't get is why do sometimes either women or guys, why do they forgive their significant other for cheating on them? That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to figure that out. I guess it's one of the most complicated things that probably no one will ever figure out definitively. But that shit baffles me every time. I saw that shit all over there when I was in high school. There was this girl that this guy cheated on her 5 times, and it was a well-known fact around the school, and she still was with him for years.
That's a tough one to figure out because, like I said, I haven't always been the most upstanding person, and I don't know why. But I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. I think each situation is kind of different, and so that's. I don't know if there's like an across the board answer for that, but my thing is that I will tell someone or anyone or whomever or whatever that forgiveness in those situations is sketchy, because if a person does it once, and I'm telling you from being that person, I'm not gonna lie about it. If a person does it once, they'll fucking do it again. You know what I'm saying? They'll do it again. And so if you forgive them for a situation like that, it's going to happen again. And so if you are in a relationship, and I hate to spread the bad news to anybody who may or may not be getting cheated on, your best bet is to start with go ahead and come up with your exit strategy, or leave that shit alone, or move on and move forward. It will happen again. Happy birthday, Sweet Berry. Wait, what time? So you using East Coast time and shit. You wait on the other side. Stop that. You gotta wait. Early birthday having ass. But nah.
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah, I mean that's what it took. Like I said, it took something a different level of shit to happen, and some real live self-evaluation. And I mean it. Like I said, I'm not that person anymore, and I wouldn't recommend people having to go through, mentally I guess you'd call it self-analysis or whatever the fuck you want to call it. To the thing to happen to get to that point, maybe you can do that without these events taking place. But I think when you are, and it's not even just about being a bad person, but I think it starts with self and self. I won't say self-esteem, but kind of self-esteem. Because you feel like you need this extra curricular action to validate yourself or redeem yourself or whatever else it may be. So I think there's different layers to it for different people, but that's kind of what was my deal.
I agree. I agree. It's like you said, there's no across the board answer to that. Probably just mainly based on opinion. And for me, like I said, always once a cheater, always a cheater. I'm just ending that shit right away.
That's the best decision. Yeah.
Yeah, that just. I'm not one for relationship advice, but the best I can give is that If your partner cheats on you, then just end it right there. It'll save you. I've seen people not break up with a significant other when they broke up. Do not forgive them. Just move on with your life. Try to be with someone or be on your own, because you're going to save yourself a lot of fucking pain.
But I think you can forgive them, but not necessarily continue to be with them. So I mean, you can forgive them and move on and say, well, hey, you know what? That's whatever issue you got. But move on.
Actually, yeah, you could do that. You can do that. You can forgive them, but you won't. You can be like, I forgive you, but I won't ever forget what happened. And I'm going to move on with my life without you, because if you're going to do that to me, then how do I know you won't do that again?
Yeah, that's a risk. And I see Grady saying
that's some deep shit right there.
Saying that you think people, and I believe people can learn. I believe people can change. I'm a big believer that people can grow. And I try not to base everything on a person from where they were. If you go through your trials and tribulations, that you try to become a better person, and that's why I say I think forgiveness is important. If they've gone through something to attempt redemption, but at the same time, I think it's a very small percentage. I think it's a very small percentage of people who go through those changes. And I'm going to talk about some stuff here in a minute, because like I said, I've been reading a very interesting book that was talking about rituals and not rituals, but initiations and things like that. And I think sometimes life has experiences in the form, I don't know if you call them initiations, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm sorry, go ahead, carry
on. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think forgiveness can be given. Just there's a limit. There's always a limit to everything, and forgiveness, yes, does have a limit. And if you don't have remorse, then it's gonna be hard for people around you to actually forgive you. And for people that are like hating on Michael Vick, and I'm pretty sure PETA and those animal rights activists have gone on his ass as well. Well, they actually have, but hey, guess what? PETA are the same kind of fucking people that take your money and they don't say shit on where it's going to. Oh, and by the way, they've also been accused of animal rights violations themselves. So they're just fucking hypocrites. Like 2 years ago, 2 PETA employees had their home searched, and the police found over 70 dead kittens in their fucking garage.
The fuck? This
yeah,
is terrible.
PETA people. And if you look online, there's a lot of animal rights members that been found guilty of animal rights violations. Yeah. So why the hell would I listen to them?
Yeah. And I think
their own people are sort of shit.
And I think some people can try to have their hearts in the right place, get overwhelmed, get overtaken, or operate emotionally instead of logically.
Yeah, there is people out there that are like, I love animals. I have a almost 10-month-old Staffordshire Bull Terrier right now, and I love him to death. Like, he's my buddy, and my grandparents' house, I have a 17-year-old Russell Terrier, and he's I've known him since I was 2, and now he'll always be my heart and all, and it's just like, sometimes when I see a dog on the street, man, I just be like, man, I wish I can do something, and then it like hurts, because sometimes people will hit the dog, like, and drive off without saying shit. Yeah. That's what happened to one of my coworkers' dogs one time. Was playing on the street, or hit him, drove the fuck off. And those are the kind of people that I think that should not be forgiven, because if they don't want to fucking like stand up for themselves and like admit that they were wrong, then they're gonna fucking run off. Yeah,
you got to face the consequences of those actions.
There's a consequence in every action. You got to face it. You can't ignore it. But anyway, Honcho, I say what I want to say. We're gonna let other people get their calls in, but as always, before I always get off, be sure you all subscribe to the Den, subscribe to Soft Sports, follow them both on Twitter, follow Honcho on Twitter, because as always, the Sauce and the Den are the realest motherfucking deal in Houston. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, Honcho.
Already, man. Chill. I appreciate it as always, man.
No problem.
Alright.
We'll see you Sunday.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, good or bad, we'll be there.
Hey, go Texans, man. Yeah. Let's just fucking get this W. I'm not gonna be too positive. It's gonna be in the middle.
I'm gonna talk shit because Dita Gamble's a Titans fan, so fuck the Titans, go Texans.
Oh, well, it's always fuck the Titans. It's always fuck the Titans.
Absolutely. All right,
appreciate it. All right, well, I'll see you at pregame tomorrow, Honcho.
All right, that's a good shit. Appreciate the call, man.
No problem. Good night.
All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hi, this is Compton Conservative. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing excellent, Miss Compton Conservative. How are you this evening?
I'm blessed by the best. I just was listening to everyone and taking in everything, and me coming from a different outlook as a minister, and you know, I deal with a lot of people. Like I do women's ministry, and I travel a lot with it, and dealing with women helped me to be better at being a wife and be more understanding, which is go vice versa for the men that deal with men and counseling and stuff. But, you know, one thing I've recognized is growing up in the hood of Compton, I have, you know, two brothers that have been killed at the hands of other men. And, you know, I'm just saying the sins of all of us. All of us have sin. And I'm a forgiving person only because of who I am in God. So when you look at these people that are attacking Mike Vick, I mean, look at what's going on all around the world. You know, we're dealing with impeachments and all the other things that's going on in the political world. And I don't know if you know Dr. Umar. I met him a couple of times. I don't agree with him on everything. But, you know, he made a statement where he made a statement for blacks being the Democratic Party prostitute. And we're gonna get on that one day.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna send you some information. Yeah, because you know he don't get out with nobody. You know, he's a pro-black activist, and you know he actually said that, and I'm like, wow, you know, he hit that right on the nose. And just to see how brainwashed we are, you know, not just as black people, but all people of all skin colors. We sit here and we say we love God, whom we've never seen, and God says that we're to forgive those. You know, I was raped in an alley back in the days when I was young in '87 with a knife to my throat. I forgive the man. I've never seen the man again in my life, but, you know, that's my way of healing and moving on. That's too much of a burden to keep other people's sin on your back and to just hate people for what they've done wrong. Mike Vick, he's done his time. And here it is, we're in a world in 2019 where we have prison reform. That's allowing a lot of 90% of black men and women get out of prison right now, federal prison, with a second chance of life. And who are we? You know, we're ratchet, dirty rags, you know, compared to God, that we're sitting here saying that this person, we're going to condemn them. We can't condemn them to hell because we don't have a hell to send them to. But we're condemning a man. We're putting them down as if we are spotless. We're so clean. And we have no blemishes on our record. You know, if we're caught or not, we've done wrong to God on a daily basis, you know. So, you know, I just wanted to say that we need to be more forgiving. You know, Mike Vick has done his time, and again, a lot of people don't know. You know, a lot of that, brother, you already know. We hire homies. You know how they say, well, we don't hire other blacks. Well, this is the product of hiring your own. And he hired his homies.
Correct.
And they did a lot of that. A lot of that came down on him because of what they were doing. And people don't want to put that out there like that. They just want to, you know, say that's what it is. And, you know, I had to correct some conservatives. You know, I always get people talking about liberal, conservative. I said, look, you, no matter what you claim is your title, if you're a heartless person, you heartless.
Correct.
And I'm not going to sit there and let anybody come to me with a conversation and talk bad about somebody if they're not going to help fix the problem. I mean, that's just throwing like R. Kelly and other people out there. Everybody sat with this man, broke bread with this man, and did all wrong with this man. But now that they get caught, you want to sit here and say, oh, they're dirty and low down. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, who isn't? Who hasn't been dirty and low down? So just want to come on and shed a little light on that, brother. And I hope 2020 is here. Now, like I said, I always hope that I can get you out. I'm hoping that I can get you on Fox Soul TV with me next year.
2020 is going to be a big year. I plan on doing some different things and expanding. So, maybe that might be a possibility.
Okay, good. We'll pay to get you out here and, where you be lodging and everything. But, yeah, we got to get you down here, man. We got to get you out there. I showed some people, you when you're talking and stuff, and you're good at what you do. You're very calm, and you're not a judgmental person. So you're straight across with me. I give you the ups and the salute as a black brother. I salute you.
Well, I appreciate that. Now I got one more question for you, Miss Compton Conservative.
Okay.
You said you finna go to the movie. Tell me what you're about to go watch.
Jumanji. Right.
Okay.
I have a 21-year-old daughter, and she thinks she's 2 years old, and she wants to see Jumanji. So I'm like, all right. I'd rather spend time with me than spend time with the bums out there in the streets out here. So
absolutely.
A lot of people thought I was going to go see that. What's it called? Slim and Queen or something like that? I'm not.
Thank you.
More movies like that.
Thank you.
We've had enough.
Exactly.
I mean, they don't realize that the media is brainwashing us to keep us with an enslaved mentality. Why are we still thinking about slavery? Why are we still promoting things that help a black man get shot?
Correct.
Why are we putting money into these people, Hollywood's pockets, and they're already demonizing the black man with all these dresses on. We need to slow it down, slow our roll.
I agree with that 100%.
Yes. Let me know, brother, when you're going on with your politics for next year, because I already know you're going to hit it up. Yes, ma'am.
I absolutely will. Absolutely. We will link up and we can, I think we'll have a real good conversation. So I think the people will like that. So I'll definitely be in touch. I'll reach out to you sometime this week. And then, like I said, we can have a conversation. We can work some things out.
Okay, cool, brother. Have a good night. God bless you.
Okay, you too. And enjoy your movie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've seen any of the new Jumanji, like any of the ones with The Rock in it. I don't think I've seen any of those Jumanji. I saw the old Jumanji. What was that? Who was in it? I'm saying my memory is terrible. Was that Robin Williams in the old Jumanji? I believe. I think it was. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Good evening, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Doing excellent, Mr. Ken. How are you this evening?
Doing good. A little bit famished. I just ordered some Domino's pizza, barbecue chicken with onions and jalapeno peppers.
Okay, we might almost be on the same page. I go with the barbecue chicken. I prefer mushrooms, but we almost on the same page there. People get mad. You get the actual barbecue sauce instead of marinara on yours?
That's right. Barbecue sauce instead of the damn marinara. And I ordered the chicken carbonara bowl. I'm getting my fat shit on tonight.
Okay.
So I like to order a lot of shit, even though my stomach is the size of a banana. I can't eat but so much, but I still eat like I'm a fat person. So I have two things. I want to make it as quick as possible.
Okay.
This Michael, I'll start with the topic at hand, which is the Michael Vick stuff. How many people you said signed a petition?
I'm not even sure the number, but I want to say the last thing I saw a couple of days ago, that it might have been over 100,000 or something like that. That was the goal, something like that. But it was quite a bit.
Oh, that's a lot. How many of those 100,000 do you think are women?
I would say a significant amount. I would say the majority, easily the majority.
Yeah.
But I would probably leave maybe to 60 to 65%. I think that's being conservative with the estimation.
Okay. How many you think of that 60 to 70% is white women?
Black women hate animals, so no, I'm just telling y'all gonna try to fire me up. If I'll be honest, I would say probably of that 60.
Probably all of them.
Yeah, I'd say the overwhelming majority.
Let's say all of them.
Yeah.
Let's say the whole 65
All
to
of
75. All of them. Let's stop the bullshit. Let's go ahead and say it's all
of them.
Yeah.
You can't give them like 90, 85%, which is all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with all of them. Okay.
Okay.
White women. You know. I'm just gonna put it at that. So I'm just gonna stick with that, even though I don't know that it's a fact. But in my head, it's a fact.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna say that's a fact. So let's say 65 to 75% of the people who signed that petition are white women. You know, white people have proven to me that they go hard in the motherfucking paint with things that they feel strong and passionate about. Yeah. They go hard in the paint with this feminist bullshit. They go hard in the paint with this Michael Vick shit. They have been going hard in the paint with Michael Vick since the beginning of his trial. Literally. Okay. So that shows me, just like I told you, the fucking trans person the other day went hard in the paint for fucking feminist shit, and the person's not even a woman. Okay. These people have shown and proven to me that they will put their life at risk for a cause. Literally. They will use their body as a shield for a cause that they feel strongly about. So I told you before that I deleted, well, I'm not on social media anymore. But when I was on social media, the sweaty upper lip, the sweaty motherfucking upper lip. I deleted my Facebook, more social media. But when I was on social media, I deleted I say about 98% of my white classmates. Yep, I deleted the motherfuckers. I had to let them go because they did the exact same thing what white women are doing now, going hard in the paint for bullshit. Okay, going hard in the paint for bullshit. And I'm considering this Michael Vick shit is bullshit because it's old, it's tired, and it's through and it's delayed. The man didn't serve his time. He did what he did and moved the fuck on. Okay. So I deleted them hoes because when there was something going on with unarmed black men getting murdered or black women getting Sandra Bland, things like that, these motherfuckers were quiet as a church mouse. Quiet. And I'm like, well, maybe they're not going to get on Facebook today because they're busy. And then something else happens, and then they literally, they don't post. They don't post. They're literally quiet. Okay. So that proved to me, y'all hoes ain't about shit. Okay. Y'all have selective passion towards things that benefit their own agenda.
But in your opinion, are they wrong for that?
No, they're definitely not wrong. Okay. By all means, do what you do, but I don't fuck with you.
Okay.
Because when people like me are getting slain, that's a part of me. It's an extension of me. So if you don't give a fuck about them, you don't give a fuck about me. That's how I look at it. Because like I told you, I look at it as a team. So, yeah. So I say that these women who go hard in the paint, I just looked up the number of women who get physically assaulted by their partner. Okay. First of all, going from back in the day, white women were treated less than dogs by their husbands back in the day. They weaseled their way into affirmative action. They couldn't get any jobs. Motherfuckers had little rights. They might as well have been black. They were like one step above black people, literally, back in the day. So this domestic violence number is significantly high. An estimated 1.3 women are victims of physical assault by their partner each year. Now, I just heard the caller say these women who are cheated on and they take them back. 1.3 million women are physically assaulted by their partner each year. Okay. Now, I want to go out on a limb and let's just say 50% of those women who signed those petitions are getting their ass whooped when they go home at night. I say 40%. I know women personally. I know, like I said, I've been hanging around women since I was 0 years old up until 29 years old. I stopped hanging around with them hoes. I stopped hanging around with women, period. Women ain't about shit. So I've literally seen the black eye. I've seen, like, these battle scars. I've seen these things from women. I've seen these white women who come to work with fucking padded makeup on, trying to cover their fucking black eyes, looking like a fucking bulldog. Horrible. So you're going hard in the paint for Michael Vick and dogs. What about the man who beats your ass, boo? What about him? If you go hard in the paint, signing petitions, doing all this shit for dogs, for a black man, Michael Vick, if you put that energy into the men who beat your motherfucking ass, maybe you wouldn't get your ass beat often. To me. Because if you don't take a stand for something, it's going to keep happening again. So that's why you keep getting your ass beat when you go home at night and you still give him the pussy after he beats your ass.
So I got a question, like, and I'm looking at, just throwing this out there just to make it, I like to play devil's advocate from time to time. But do you think it's a different situation, say if this is a person or a family person within this relationship, they have kids or something like that, and they're saying they're going to overcome, they're going to sustain the pain of the beatings or whatever it is for the children, so they choose to stay. How do you view that? Do you think that's a noble thing, or do you think that's just an excuse that people make?
I've heard that bullshit since the beginning of my years on this earth. That's the same bullshit I've heard time and time again. That is bullshit. It's literally bullshit. So, number one, if you are not full, if your cup is not full, if your cup is empty, how in the fuck can you pour from an empty cup, ho? You have no water in your cup to pour. How are you going to pour a cup of water to your kids and you're empty? That's the loop. So, exactly, empty as fuck. So how can you then say it's for the kids, when you are the matriarch of that household? If you are not happy, if you are not full, you're not going to be the best mom to those kids that you can be. The man, you don't think the father is looking at you getting your ass? You don't think the kids can hear and see the father beating your fucking ass? The kids see that. So to me, that's causing more trauma to the kids by staying there with them witnessing, especially if you have women and especially if you have men, because if you have women, a child, a girl, the girl is going to look at that and think that that's how a relationship is supposed to be. And the son is going to look at that, and he is going to then act like his father, a woman beater. So that is an excuse to me. Maybe sometimes it can be circumstantial for some cases, but that is a crock of bullshit. It's literally the shit that Michael Vick's dog shitted out.
So now, you said something though, and you talked about feminists kind of early on. You kind of mentioned this yesterday, and we kind of know where that lies. And you mentioned a lot of black women who are becoming feminists or who are feminists. Do you think that there's a correlation between, feminists, these animal supporters, and especially black feminists? So you don't think that there are any black women that are participating in this against Mike Vick?
Of course. But I think that we as black people, we are literally mighty ducks. We are quack quack. We are sheeple. We're not people. We're sheeple. Like I just told you yesterday, the fucking black woman climbed the Statue of Liberty for Mexican kids in fucking jail. In kid jail. We're sheeple. So of course there are going to be people to tag along to this shit because we are sheeple. We are ducks. Mighty ducks. Quack, quack. Ducks follow one another in groups. So, yeah, to answer that question, yeah. But where is all this heat for Casey Anthony, who killed her own daughter and got away? Like, where is the heat for the real shit? Where is the heat for this bitch who killed her daughter? Where is the heat for Woody Allen, who literally married his daughter? Literally. Where is the heat for this man? There is no heat. So these people who sign this petition, they can kiss my ass, just like the feminist folks can kiss my ass too. And I want to touch on something else. You mentioned to me the other day about this Santana guy.
Yes.
So I did watch, some clips and things, and I read a couple articles and things, so I got a sense of what happened, so I can give a full opinion about it.
Okay.
So what I read, what happened was he went to a strip club, to a ghetto strip club in the hood,
but it was a stretch marks.
And with stretch marks and battle wounds and bullet wounds and shit. Okay, with fucking 27 pieces on their head. 27 pieces. I don't know if you know what that is. Yeah, 27 piece. Some of the women in the chat might know what a 27 piece is if they're from the hood. 27 piece. So he went to the ghetto strip club and he was throwing money out in the air like how the niggas do. Throwing money, flossing, throwing money, boom. He begins to twerk along with these strippers. He begins to expose his thong and shake his ass. Now, during the midst of that, there were men who were coming for him, like clowning him, joking him. Of course, that's what happens when you put yourself out there like that, and that's what happens when you don't put yourself out there like that. It just happens from in the ghetto places by men, by these quote unquote heterosexual men. That's what they do. Heterosexual men, and I told you I'm speaking from experience, they will literally say, this motherfucking faggot, look at you, you fucking faggot, you bitch ass fucking faggot, you fruity pebbles, fruity chalup, tutu motherfucking wearing bitch ass, hoe ass, slut ass, punk. And then the gay person would say, man, fuck you, you pussy ass nigga. And then the straight dude who said all of that, I know, I know he ain't talking to me, I know. And now he want to pop off. That has literally been the trajectory of my experience with heterosexual men who say and do whatever. And they expect, because they think that the gay men are less than, they don't look at you as a man. So if you even utter any words to defend yourself, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. I know this motherfucker did not just defend himself. you know. So that happened, and after the strip shit ended, while he was, I guess, walking to the car or whatever, they did a drive-by and let loose some bullets. Okay. Now, they were too pussy to fight the dude in the club if they were so offended by him. They needed to go and get a gun and wait until it ended and go shoot. Okay. So I think that's typical black hood heterosexual low class peasantry niggas. And like I said, I speak from experience that this is how these men act. They will they're okay. I'll give you an example. Like I told you, the Thanksgiving 2018, I was jumped. I didn't say anything to these guys. These guys were seventh grade dropouts. Menaces to society. When I say menaces to society, I mean that. They were always in trouble in school before they dropped out. They literally would rob the sweepstake places in the towns. They were in and out of jail, like beating their girlfriends, selling little nick and dime bags of weed, just menace to society, okay? Meanwhile, I come in and I'm holding these community fucking fairs and tutoring children after school and having town hall meetings, bringing the mayor and all this stuff involved. And you jump this guy, I dressed regular like the regular dude, but you jump me. And then there were guys on Facebook and women on Facebook saying after it happened, they said, you should not have been there. Now, that's the same thing people were saying to this Santana guy. You should not have been there. Now, I have a right to go anywhere I please. The place that I went to was a hole in the wall. Yeah. I like to go to a hole in the wall from time to time, and I like to go to the mansion party from time to time. Righteous ratchet. I like to do both. And I feel as though that I should be able to do both. Now, realistically speaking, in this climate with the peasantry niggas, the lower budget niggas, unfortunately, you can't go to these places due to safety reasons. And Santana went to one of those places that was a safety hazard for people like him. Now, had he went to a gay strip club and did the exact same thing he did at the hole in the wall, acted the exact same way, dressed the exact same way, nothing would have happened to that guy. Nothing. They would not have felt disrespected. You know, so it's truly sad. So I mean, I'm not blaming him, but he does need to take responsibility for putting himself in an environment that is not kind to people like him. They hate people like him. It's literally hate, and it's a learned hate. Because I'll give you an example. When I moved to New York in 2012, I was living in a building. It was kind of ghetto. And when I would walk outside the building, the dudes, as soon as I get close to them, they get quiet. They don't talk, but they stare at me. All of them stare at me. And they don't say anything. And then when I walk past a little bit further, they start laughing, and then they start saying little things like, yo, this faggot, blah, 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 as I walk past. Now, there's children there. There's children there witnessing that. Just like racism is a learned behavior as well. It's learned. This whole I hate gay people thing, that's a learned behavior as well. Because later on, when I started coming back and forth into the building, these 6- and 7-year-old kids did the exact same thing. And they would yell at me, yo, you gay, you gay, that's you gay, you gay. These are 6- and 7-year-olds. 6- and 7-year-old kids. learned behavior. You see, so when I say that this hate is not even coming from a real place, it's coming from an ignorant, mighty duck, quack quack, sheeple place. Because if you look at a lesbian, that hate, that same hate, if they always go by the Bible, but they don't hold the lesbians up to the same standard as the gay men. Lesbian is considered sexy.
Is it really?
Lesbian is considered, oh, I could bring her into the bedroom. We could have a threesome. That's one of the first things that comes out of a man's mouth when it comes down to a lesbian. Oh, I could get her. We could have a threesome. They don't say nothing about no Bible. They don't say nothing about no Jesus stuff. They don't say nothing about nothing. So if the gay thing if the gay thing is a real, coming from a real hate place, then that hate will be extended to the lesbians.
I do believe
am I right or am I right?
I do believe there's a double standard there, and we're gonna talk about that one day, because I have this belief, and I'm not gonna talk about it now, but I kind of want to talk about that, and let me know one day when you get to, because I kind of want, like I said, with you having more familiarity with that world, with those groups, I would definitely love your opinion on this evening when we do talk about it, because I mentioned to you before that I think that the whole grouping of the LGBT thing is kind of awkward, because I don't think they all are, really seeking the same cause. And so I think that there's different, and then I think there's infighting within those groups. So, but I think there's some double standards. So one day I'd like to dive into that and talk a little bit more about it, but I'll save it for another time. But to bring everything full circle. So with everything that happened, and we're talking about, forgiveness and all of these things. If those gentlemen came up to Santana and apologized for their actions, should he forgive them?
That's not for me to decide. That's for him to decide. I would hope that maybe in his heart that he would forgive them for himself, because that forgiveness is not for them. It's for himself.
Correct.
It's to get that hatred or that pain out of his heart. Forgiveness is not for the other person.
Correct.
So I would hope that in time he would forgive them. But that's for his own peace of mind. Correct. But I would hope so. But I would definitely just want to mention that many of these organizations and agencies and things like that fight for Black liberation are by gay and lesbian people. Black Lives Matter was founded by lesbian people. Correct. Many of these people who are out here marching for niggas who get slain on the corner by these cops unjustly are indeed gay people. But when these people get shot down, even if they disobey the cop, even if they hit the cop, even if they spit on the cop, when that happens, there is never anything said, oh, well, he shouldn't have did that. Oh, he shouldn't have did it, so that's why he got what he got. Usually white people are the ones who are saying that. They should not have. If they should have listened to the cop, they should have. But Black people don't give excuse. They say, it don't matter what he did, you should not have killed him, period. But when it's with gay people, the first thing they say is, oh, he must have did something. Oh, he did this. Oh, he shook his ass. Oh, he did that. He did. Listen, it doesn't matter what the fuck. If you're saying that for these people, say it for us too. Because we're the ones out here marching for your asses. You know what I'm saying? And when these trans people are murdered, there's nothing said about that. There's nothing. It's always, oh, she must have tricked them, or she did. There's always an excuse given. But when Ray Ray gets shot and Lil Tyrone gets shot, there is no excuse.
Shit,
that's why I say the whole shit, us as people, it's a virus, and it's collective hate, and I can go toe to toe with people because I'm well-rounded and I'm well-versed. And I know and I can pick little pieces of the bullshit and what people say and always bring it back to a reality place. Because many of these sheeple live in Peter Pan land. They don't live in reality. Many sheeple live in Peter Pan land. It's not a real world. So when you talk about reality, they get stunned. You know. So to bring it back to Michael Vick, leave a man alone, white women. Okay. White women, hold your husband and your boyfriend to the same standard in the same accountability that you're trying to hold Michael Vick, who went to jail and served his time. Okay. And someone spoke about, I believe the lady spoke about, that's what you get for hiring your own kind. She's a bit lost too, because even when entertainers and NFL players, they don't hire their own kind, and they hire white accountants and fake Jewish. Notice I said fake Jewish accountants. Anything with ish on the end of it is not the original, first of all. When they hire these fake Jews and these white people to handle their finances, they end up getting fucked in the ass with no Vaseline. Okay. So the lady who said that about this is why you don't hire your own kind, she's lost in the sauce too, along with the rest of the people.
But see, I think that's a reference. I think that it's a thin line, because in his case, where you're hiring, and I think it was more of a reference to family and friends, and we've seen this happen time and time with athletes. I have no issue hiring, employing other black professionals, people who are in the fields already. But when you do go out and you hire your family, and you got to know your family. I mean, that's part one. You have to know your family, because we see time and time again, a lot of people, they stick with these homeboys. These rappers do it, the athletes do it, and they stick with their homeboys. They bring the niggas from the hood. They bring the people, they grew up with, because they feel like this sense of loyalty for some reason. These motherfuckers ain't help you practice. They ain't even want to get you a ride. They saw you walking in the rain or shooting by yourself, whatever it may have been. But once you get on, all of a sudden you owe everybody. I think you have to be extremely selective, because again, if you keep yourself in that same mentality, that same environment, you may move to a nicer neighborhood, but you still keep that niggerish mentality. You end up right back where you are. I mean, you look at guys like Antoine Walker and some of these other athletes who've been stuck in these situations with their own family. Iverson, for example, he's back in these situations. So, like I said, I don't think it's about not hiring other black people. I think it's about, you got to separate yourself. You got to kind of get out of that comfort zone with them same niggas from the hood. Hey, it's unfortunate. You can show some love. You can pass through. Well, you got to be careful passing through too. But literally, you can't bring them with you, because they're going to bring all that same mentality. Because they didn't have to go through any trials and tribulations. They didn't have to do anything. They just getting that free ride, so they have that same mentality. They're going to bring you right back down to where they are. We all know the statement, the 5 people you hang around with the most, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's more where the line was going, about keeping that same environment around you, especially if those people ain't top notch. But we have this love for certain people. If you grew up a certain way, that you want to keep that attachment, and I get it. But sometimes you got to keep that connection long distance. I see you when I see you. But
and many of us know the truth. Many of us, especially black folk, we know our family ain't shit.
Correct.
We know that, and we still go to the family functions. We still did at Thanksgiving have a fake conversation with a fake dinner with a fake dry ass turkey, and we still do those things and put ourselves through the bullshit that we knew was going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So many of us don't extract ourselves from that. And like I told you before, I extracted myself from everybody: mama, grandma, grandfather, 3 sisters, 1 brother, cousins, aunts, uncles. Everybody is gone. Everybody. And I did that for a reason, because next year I'm working my way on, like I said, to becoming a millionaire. I know where I'm going. You see what I'm saying? And I literally put tests in the way. I have put little tests that people did not know was a test. And these people failed the test. When you fail the test as a dollionaire, you're going to fail the test as a millionaire. They don't have the antivirus. My family does not have the antivirus. None of them. Absolutely none of them. So they can't come along for the ride until the antivirus is installed. Period. So in Michael Vick's case, he knew them people. I'm sure his family won't about shit. I'm pretty sure he knew that. But the guilt, you see, and the weakness, so you're weak. Weakness would cause you to stick around and keep these people around you because you're weak-minded. And your heart, I throw your heart in there. Okay, let's throw the heart in there. Sure. Yeah, you might love these people, but you still gotta lead with what's most powerful. What's most powerful is your mind. That's what's most powerful. Because you can have a heart all the fuck you want to. But what happens when you're brain dead? What happens then? What happens? The heart is worthless when you're brain dead. You're a fucking vegetable. Yeah, your heart will beat, ho, but you're brain dead. So what's most valuable, what's most important to me is your mind. Your mind is most important. So you lead with your mind, not your fucking heart. Because leading with your heart will end up like Michael Vick, will end up like Iverson, will end up like Blueface, will end up like Keisha Cole, will end up like the Jacksons, will end up, I could go on and on and on.
Man, what happened to Blueface?
You didn't see Blueface? Him and his mama and his sister, they was fighting. He threw their damn clothes out of his house.
Coulter donated $1. Mix it tonight. This shit's deader than no Zoom hitman.
On social media blasting him. This is his mama and his sister. This happened like over the summer.
Yeah. Okay. I heard. I mean, last thing I heard about him, he was trying to have a bunch of girlfriends. So I didn't know he had a.
Yeah, he had the two girlfriends, but I guess one of his sister didn't like one of the girls or felt disrespected. So the sister was trying to fight one of the girlfriends.
Oh no, she got stuck. This is my hype. You got to get your ass up out of here. You fucking up the game.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying that they were using him for money and this, that, and the third. And then they got on social media and was talking about him. And then they busted his windows out of his damn house. Wow. I mean, just nigga shit. Yeah, shit.
They ain't even when they probably capping on his mixtape. They wouldn't even fuck with him like that. Now he winning. You know, they want something. Ain't that a bitch?
Honestly, look at Black China. Look at how her mother treats her. Look at that and how she continues to bring her along for the ride. Leading with your heart will get you in a fucking cemetery with no flowers. Literally. Lead with your mind.
Is that the one? Does she have a show?
Yes.
And is it like a dating show? Basically, Flavor Flav, the reverse.
Yes, the mother does.
Trash.
The mother
she's
trash. And Black China had a show first with the mother, like all up in her face, telling her she ain't shit and calling her a bitch and how she sucked dick and how just going off on her daughter, her literal daughter, and this is being televised. And we look at this as entertainment. Cheapo. It's horrible.
That's why I say I can't watch this shit. That's why I don't do the TV very much. I don't do the reality, especially like. But people, and that's the thing that people sit there and say, "Oh, it's entertainment." I don't take it serious. It's just, but you're not realizing that this is programming you to making this acceptable. That this is making this the norm in your opinion. I don't do that, but you got a lot of people who may not think as much, and then you see, but first the city say, "Oh, it's just entertainment," but then you see it in reality. All these videos that come out from all ends of the country of people acting like this, normal people, not entertainers, not celebrities, acting like this. So obviously somebody is getting impacted and affected. And plus, before these people were ever famous, this is a learned behavior from somewhere. So yes, there are people who are acting like this in a significant number.
That's right.
And
just look at minor things that people take on. Look at the duck face. Look at the duck face. The duck face when women take their pictures, they put on the duck face. Little things, you think little things that's programmed from somewhere. Little girls are posing like that with their waist, with their ass sticking out.
Yeah,
how all the girls pose now.
Fucking horse leg. Yeah, that shit.
Literally.
Yeah,
it is literally training the next people to do these things. It's acceptable, you know. So it all comes from a place, and you know, many people like have their cable, which is fine. You want to escape from your bullshit ass life, so you turn on your TV and you put a whole bunch of bullshit in your face, you know, to escape reality. I get it, but to me that's weak. It's weak, and instead of dealing with your bullshit ass life, you know, hey, let me look at somebody else's bullshit ass life that's worse than mine. Let me look at Black China's life and her mama, because that ain't me yet. That ain't me yet. But see, the child that's also watching it with you, the child, that may be the child, how the child's going to treat your ass in the next 10 to 15 years.
Yep, they don't think
I've seen parents smoke weed around their children in New York and in North Carolina. Smoke weed literally while their child is on their lap, smoking a blunt, drinking 40. One thing that I can say about my mother, who did crack for 30 years, I can literally say that I've never, ever seen her do the fucking crack. Ever. I've seen the paraphernalia. I've actually seen crack on a fucking plate. But I've never, ever seen her do it in my face. But I wasn't a fool. I knew what was going on. But parents now are just doing it in plain sight. You know, they're doing it. Women are literally talking shit about the father of their child right beside the child.
Correct.
Literally.
Correct.
Programming the child to then not like the father. What do you think that's going to do to the child?
I mean, we see the effects on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it's the reason why, especially the black family, mostly is not a family anymore. It's not even a thing anymore. So
right.
It is what it is at this point. But,
and it's the reason why we don't come together often, less family reunions, because the older people are dying out, okay? And like I said, grandmas are my age. Back in my hometown, my classmate is a grandma. She's 33 years old, and she's a fucking grandma. And she's getting her ass beat by a man who's been in and out of jail selling nick and dime bags. And she let her mother raise her child. The same mother that raised her when she got pregnant in middle school. The same mother that raised her sister when her sister got pregnant in high school. And you feel comfortable to let that same mother raise your child. And now you're a fucking grandma. She's not teaching her child about black history or where we come from originally or working on her homework or taking her to recitals or anything. She's chasing after dick.
That's terrible, man. But here's the deal, Mr. Ken. You know, as always, I appreciate our conversations, but I'm gonna get ready to wind it down here shortly. I got one more thing to do because I'm telling 2 hours tonight. But I definitely appreciate you calling in and sharing your views, man. Like I say, we're gonna, you know, whenever you get a chance, like I say, I'll find a day that, you know, I know you'll be able to join us. And I want to dive deeper in that conversation I was mentioning earlier, because I think there's a lot of nuance to what's going on there. I think a lot of us kind of lump it all together. But like I say, you have a little bit more understanding from your own personal experiences and experiences within that community. I think that you could help enlighten a lot of people.
Thank you, man. Yeah, for sure. You know, just connect. You know, let me know what day, and I'll try to make sure it's available for me to come in. And I did read someone that said that I'm generalizing all people. I hate when people say that. You know, like I said, if a hit dog will holler. If you holler, that means you a hit. Have a good night. White women, handle your own shit. Don't handle our shit. We handle our own business. Y'all handle our business all too much as it is. Handle your own shit, okay? Good night.
All right, have a good evening. All right, so here's the deal. I got a text I'm going to read, and then we'll take a small break. We're gonna slide in the Mixer crew tonight. And the only reason I'm definitely staying short because, one, the Mixer only gets the weekends, and I got pregame tomorrow for stream, so I have to get up early, so I ain't going to be up as late this evening as I usually am, so I can actually, I've been slacking. I ain't do the graphics and stuff I need to do, and so, you know, I'll do these things now. Let's see. Mr. Grady. I'm hoping it's a Mr. I'm assuming it's a Mr. Shared a very interesting text. He says, he's studying right now, so he can't call me. He says, that I became a Christian last year, and it's utterly changed my life. God has been so good this last year and has allowed me to let go of things and forgive. Forgiveness is not that easy, but a process. But if you have faith in Jesus, he will give you the strength and desire to forgive. My question is, what do you think of the biblical definition of forgiveness? Do you think it's realistic or too good to be true? So it's an interesting thing, and again, I'm not the most biblical body, if you will. But my thing is, I'm assuming, the forgive and forget situation is what I'm going to make an assumption on. And if I'm not getting that right, shoot me a text and let me know if there's a little bit more detailed aspects of that. But here's the thing with forgiveness. And again, like I said, I'm not super religious. I think that the Bible does, even if you're not a religious person, you were to live by, in general, what most of the Bible teaches, I think there's certain elements of it that you're going to live a pretty quality life for the most part. I don't think you're going to get involved in as much bullshit. But again, to each his own. I'm not telling y'all to do anything. Y'all gonna start saying I'm Broderick or something like that. I'm not forcing y'all. Shout out to Broderick. But I think that, it is a good blueprint to live a quality standard life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when it comes to forgiveness in itself is important. Like a couple of callers said this evening, it's not about the person that you're forgiving. It's about you. Now, my mom, she's a very, I won't say religious person. She's still a Jehovah's Witness. And she, every time we have a conversation, she definitely brings something up. And we'll talk about different things. But she was one of the first people that told me that. Religion is like, not religion, y'all be agreeing when I said that, but forgiveness or harboring hate or anger towards someone is like drinking poison, but expecting someone else to die. And so while you're being angry and upset and mad about all of these things, the other person is probably not even concerned about it. So in the same way, if somebody's done something to you and you're just holding on to this, your anger is not going to change them. If they decide to change, if they go through whatever they need to learn, to go through whatever trials and tribulations they need to become a better person, that's up to them. But you holding on to hate, anger, and whatever other feelings, sadness, it could be anything, that they caused you, you're the one losing. You're the one that is suffering from it. You're the one that is in the worst position. You can talk about old relationships. So say, you have somebody who was a serial cheater and they cheat on you and you let them go and you're just mad, they were a dirty dog. And I think and look, I'm gonna throw some shade. A lot of women have this. He was no good this and he was no good that, or you can have these anger towards your baby daddies or whatever you want to call them. But unless they decide to change, that's on them. You can only be the best who you are. I think like Kemah mentioning this negative stuff in front of your children doesn't benefit you, doesn't make you look better in your child's eyes. It either causes them to start harboring hate for something that has nothing to do with them. A lot of times there's a lot of moms who hold their own personal grudges against the dad. Let them grow up, find out, and figure it out, and make their own decisions. But you're passing hate along. So now you're making these kids drink this poison, and they're mad, and it's not helping them. So again, you forgive to benefit yourself, to let go of all the pain or whatever is associated with that, the things that are eating away at you. Man, what's the motherfucking deal? And so you let go of all it's self-torment, really. You know, we talked about self-inflicting, what was it, self-pain? I forgot the damn term of it, but basically, basically inflicting pain upon yourself, right? And that's basically what it is. So what you got to realize too, the mind is a funny thing, because when you harbor, or when you stick to that thing, you think about that thing that person did to you, and you relive it. They did this to me. You are experiencing that pain over and over again. You're reliving it. You don't realize it, but your brain processes it like you're reliving that situation over and over again. So the more you sit there and harbor that anger and that hate, you're scarring yourself, you're tormenting yourself, you're putting more torture on yourself, because it may have only happened one time in reality, but because you're holding on to it because it just made you so mad, or you just can't let go, you refuse to forgive, now you're experiencing 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? Now you're experiencing 100, however many times you think about it, until you realize these thoughts are not helping me. I can't change it. I can't change that person. I can't change the outcome. I'll let it go. Now I say all this, and to revert back to what I said in the beginning, I say this about a lot of stuff, but there are a few situations where I think it would be extremely difficult for me to honestly sit here and say, yeah, I'd forgive them. Like I say, these people who have lost family members, and they go in and they say, yeah, I forgive them, and I'm much better people than I am. Much better people than I am. It depends on the circumstances and a lot of other things too, but much better people than I am. It's like, hooty hoo. But here is the deal, right? They were talking about the one chick. I was reading something too about the one chick, how he got those people to drink that shit. And they were talking about the one chick who didn't drink it and got away. We might talk about that one day. But there's a UFC on, I see. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I'm going to slide over to the Mixer crew. Whenever the fight is over, y'all can feel free to slide in. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. What do you say there, Lady Licious? What is the time here? All right, I'm gonna give you out. Look, I still got the phone line halfway up. All right, let me see what we got going on. I know you were trying to call in last night, Miss Lady Licious. I'll give you a call. Call in. We'll take one last call from Lady Licious. And then we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna slide to the Mixer crew, and then we'll do it like that. I guess that's fair, since Lady Licious accuses me of. You're accusing me of doing you bad. And I would never do such a thing. Never. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do you got calling into the den this evening?
Hello.
Hello? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Red team go. Can you hear me? I don't know what just happened there. I'm gonna try it again. I'll give her a second, let her call back, and we'll try it again. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hello.
Hello. Lady Licious, can you hear me? Whispering and shit. What is going on? Can you hear me?
I'm your Honcho. You gotta fix your shit.
Yeah, look, I don't know what's going on here. Let me see. No, the mic's still on. The mic is loud, but let me see what's up. Can you hear me? Hello, Lady Licious. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
No. Hello. No.
This is terrible. This is absolutely not working as intended. Yeah. So I don't even know what's happening right now. So I guess this is whispering stuff, some late night sneaking on the phone. What is going on? You ain't supposed to be on the phone. So I guess we will try one last time, see if we can get it right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello? Hello? Lady Licious, can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. What the hell? Hello.
Hello. I have no idea what's going on. I could hear you on this end, but I don't know if you can hear me. All right, third time's the charm. It didn't quite work out as it should have. But we gonna call it a wrap for tonight. I need to take a Honcho hiatus. Anyway, we'll try again tomorrow. We'll be live. But here's the deal, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Make sure you're following the Den on all the proper social medias. Right here. Ed Honcho, HTX, Instagram, Twitter. Den Show Live on Facebook. And that's pretty much everything you need is in the link in the description below. I'm going to leave the chat open for a little bit before I get set up on Mixer. I'll probably be on Mixer in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. I don't know how much longer the fight got going on, so I'll be in there in a few. And if you want to come join, I'll put the link in the chat before we go live there. But like I said, I got to slide because I've been holding on to a Honcho hiatus. And I appreciate each of y'all from coming through. But until then, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And again, it's an honor. It is a privilege, and most of all, my pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys each and every night. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of here.